going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Jordan Peele's Get Out. So Get Out is a film that I was pretty excited for when it came to the release of this film. I saw the trailers multiple times. I was really excited about it. Everybody was, obviously talking about the fact that Jordan Peele from Key & Peele was going to be directing this horror film, and it looked really good. That was the craziest part. It's like this movie looked really good. Everybody was pretty excited about it. And then you have this person attached to it who is really well known for comedy, and you really wouldn't think that he'd do such a good horror film. But man, this has to be one of my favorite horror films of modern days. So if you have no idea what this film is all about, the basic concept is you have the character played by Daniel Kaluuya, who's fantastic in this movie, by the way. I know I had seen him in things like Black Mirror, and he's gone on to be in things like Black Panther, and now in Queen and Slim. But by the time I saw this movie, I didn't know who he was. I saw it in theaters, so at this point I know that he was mainly big for things like Black Mirror. Maybe he was in some other stuff, but I really didn't know him from much. I knew his face, I had seen him in places, but I have never really watched anything that he had acted in. And so to see him in this film, this was essentially his debut performance for me, and I loved it. I really enjoyed his performance in this film. He feels so real and so natural. And after finding out that he was from overseas and kind of has a pretty decently thick accent, nothing over the top, but I was really impressed with just how natural his American accent came out. He really just seemed like a guy that would be walking around here in America, and I really just love how natural his performance feels throughout the entire film. And that's an overall praise across this entire film. Everybody's performance in this film is so well done. I really enjoy the performances in this film. This film, the basic plot, like I was about to get into, is essentially about this guy who's going with his girlfriend who's white. It's this black guy and this white girl, and he's going to visit her family for the first time. And he's a little worried because, she tells him he's the first black guy he's ever brought home. And when he gets there, things are a little weird. There's definitely a lot of social commentary in this film. But this film, what I love so much about it is that it just does things that you really wouldn't expect going into it. The trailers, the posters, nothing really gave away what this film would really be about. You kind of know it's going to be this horror thriller film, and you can tell that it's going to have some levity to it, which is one of my favorite elements of the film. But yeah, you have this film about this guy going to meet his girlfriend's family for the first time. He's afraid of some, racist elements and all that kind of stuff, but he goes with a positive mentality. And at first things are really good and everything is going well. And then things slowly start to get weirder and weirder. And yeah, he's caught in a really crazy situation. And I don't want to say anything else if you have never seen this film. This is a film that is incredibly well directed, incredibly well acted, incredibly well paced. I'm really never bored when I watch this movie. I've rewatched it many times since I saw it first time in theaters. And it's just a film that the performances keep me engaged, the levity, the overall just feel, tone, and vibe of the film is just so engaging. It's not necessarily a horror thriller that's necessarily really scary, but it is unsettling at times. There's definitely moments that are definitely creepy, and there's a lot of moments that just have you on edge and always interested in what's going on. And I find that with every single rewatch, I'm still just as engaged in those scenes as I was the first time. And I've really enjoyed rewatching this film and picking up on the small little things that would lead up to the finale that the first time you don't really know exactly what's going on. You're seeing these weird things happen, all these hints and nods at what's going to happen, but you really have no idea really what's going to happen. And then going back and rewatching it and being able to see those little pieces that are laid out throughout the story leading up to what happens in the climax of this film. Yeah, like I really just love how well put together this film is. It's so well written, so well acted, so well paced, and so well directed. I mean, kudos to Jordan Peele. Obviously, he's gone on and done Us now, which is another film I just recently watched. I did not see it in theaters, which disappointed me, and that's on me, but I finally got to check it out. I've had it on Blu-ray for like the last month or so, and I'll be doing a review for that very soon. But yeah, I really love the dude. He does some really amazing stuff. I always loved him in Key & Peele. He's so funny. And then to see him do this is just awesome. He's really done an amazing job with this new horror comedy, just weird, wacky kind of film career he's making for himself, and I love it. Obviously, he's only directed 2 big budget films like this, but I'm excited for what he's got coming up next. We know he's been working on The Twilight Zone, and that's something I really love about this, and I feel like it's a perfect fit for him to be on The Twilight Zone. Is this film is just like a really great blend of like a modern horror thriller with a lot of social commentary, great performances, and a lot of levity blended in with a very wacky and over-the-top Twilight Zone-esque concept, and I just love that. The film is not going to work for everybody when it gets to like the later half of the film. It's definitely something that you're either going to be into or you're not going to be into. It definitely takes some twists and turns that you may not expect for sure, and I really just love how weird and wacky this feels. It's such a wacky concept. Like I said, reminds me very much of like an episode of something like Black Mirror or The Twilight Zone. I really just love what Jordan Peele did with this film. It makes me incredibly excited for the rest of his career. I will say right now, I didn't like Us as much as I liked this one, but I did enjoy Us, and I'll definitely definitely get more into that when I do my review for us. But yeah, looking at this movie as on its own, I really, really love what Jordan Peele did. This is a film that constantly keeps me engaged, a film that I highly recommend if you have not already seen it, a film that I think is just such a great debut for a director. A film with so many talented people involved, and you can tell that they were really trying to create something special here. Jordan Peele had a vision and he executed on it. As far as negatives that I have, I'll be honest, I really don't have very many for myself. I find that there are maybe a few moments that are a little slow, but even in those moments of kind of a slower pace, I find that those are really the character building moments, and I really just love every single scene of this film. Every scene of this film really feels integral. It feels like something that needs to be a piece of the puzzle. If not, you won't have the full picture, and I just really love that he was able to craft such a tight and just really concise film that is straight to the point, really well acted, really well directed, really well shot. You know, what else can you ask for when it comes to a movie? This is a film that works on almost every level for me personally, and I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. So leave those comments down below. Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Maybe the concept is too weird and wacky for you, but I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys have to say. Again, leave those comments down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. There are so many videos to come. You guys can look out for so many videos. I am working on new movies, old movies, movies that most recently came out. Maybe I didn't catch it in theaters. I will continue to be shelling out more content. Big thanks to every single one of you who have been continually supporting this channel, supporting me. I am eternally grateful, and I will see each and every single one of you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.